Yo guys, I just watched the Aim Son. Are you kidding me? Again, I rewatched it because might as well get some content out of us out here. So might as well rewatch something and give a fresh reaction if I haven't done already. Anyway, hit the like, subscribe button as you do. Get me to at least more subscribers than I have now. Whatever. Blah, 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 blah. Anyway, let me get into this reaction. It's a fresh reaction since I just finished it now. Anyway, cool. What did I think of the Ain't Son? Are you kidding me? Well, it's not necessarily the most out there anime. Like it's not one. It's not an anime that you haven't seen before. You've seen loads of similar kind of storylines where one person is overpowered, gets taught to be overpowered, and now they're getting all these good things, right? However, some of the things you may have not seen before. When I do say that you haven't some of the things, such as the politics side of it, right? Where you got Byron, right? It's revealing all the politics side behind it. Well, you got Byron, he's becoming a Baron, all the things happening behind him, behind his back, the politics behind him. He has to keep aware of his surroundings and his political surroundings in that sense. That look, people are plotting behind his back, people are plotting against him, with him. He has to make sure that he's aware of everything that goes around him and be savvy enough to make sure that he's not taken advantage of, and be savvy enough to make sure that he's not. And so that dynamic we haven't seen before in many other animes. We haven't seen that kind of political debate of is it moral to have these kind of things happening behind the back. We haven't had these kind of things in a lot of other anime. So again, that's one unique aspect. However, it does fall into the kind of cliche of harem, and it does fall into a lot of cliches, in which can make it a bit boring. Again, also because it's 12 episodes, it kind of briefly explains some stuff. Like I wish there was a bit more explanation. There was a good amount of explanation. Don't get me wrong, but again, me being a personal sense, I would love if it was a bit more explained. Everything about the magic system, how the magic system works. Why is he now able to use magic? Why aren't Kurt able to use magic a bit more in depth? Or a bit more in depth as to why they can't. Why mana capacity? How was mana capacity decided? Is it just purely by birth? Can you increase it? Why doesn't other people use magic? Is it limited by blood? Could it be inherited? Could it be developed over time? For example, can magic be developed through just training, right? If you don't use magic originally, can you then develop magic later on? Some nuances. Again, these are some nuances that I wish were kind of sorted out in anime, but again, these are just personal nuances. I I foresee this anime getting a second season. They've got enough material to continue the political side of it. For example, here he has to develop the undeveloped lands. So in that second season, we would love to see where that goes. What happens to the undeveloped land? How he fares as a noble. He's now become a count by the end of the series. So how does he fare in that second season? How does he fare? You know, with other nobles. How you know obviously there's still action while it's a fantasy, and it has less action than many other fantasies. It still has its action side, and so seeing him fight against all these other beings that are stronger than him also, but I feel like that's not the main kind of goal behind this anime, so we won't see that much action again in the second season if and when that comes out. But again, when that second season comes out, that will also be there. Again, it does have its comedical side, but again, it's a very cliched anime, like I said before. So a lot of these jokes have been said before in a different way, maybe, or jokes are not necessarily the most funny, but you can still relate to these jokes and still have fun, laugh at these jokes just because they're there and they are jokes. You recognize these as jokes. Right. What else? And again, yeah, it's all around decent anime. I wouldn't say it's the best anime I've ever watched, and I wouldn't say it's the. However, definitely wouldn't say it's the worst. Obviously, there was things I disliked about it. How for example, you we didn't get any explanation as to can his retainers get noble ranks, right? Could he just grant them. What happens to that? Why couldn't he just have that? Anyway, I'll go into that. I won't go into that now. Right. Again, though, it was a decent anime. Again, my rating will probably be a mid rating when I do get to it. But again, all I can say, all the first word that comes to my mind when I think of this anime is decent. Not the best, but not the worst. It's a decent anime. It's an anime I would recommend for beginners, right? It's an anime in which it's not too complicated that you won't understand it, but not too simple that it's just bad. It's not bad, but it's not necessarily the greatest of all time. So it's definitely an anime I would recommend for beginners to watch, and anime I recommend for people who want, or people who want that casual kind of ride, that casual kind of, yeah, you understand it, you can get along with it, but again, you're not necessarily having to focus on it. But again, you're not having to focus on it, but you should still enjoy the anime. You don't have to fully pay attention to it, but you just casually. It's a casual watch or a beginner anime. That's why I would rate it. And so what I would rate it, my ratings for it is a 6 out of 10. Right? And that's somewhat being a bit generous. A 6 out of 10. I feel like 6 out of 10 is an average rating, it's a medium rating. That's the midway point for me. Even though many people will see 5 out of 10 being an average middle rating, I see 6 being an actual middle rating. It's like just above average or just above middle. Whereas most people see, I see a 6 as a kind of average rating. Is not good, not bad. Yes, it's higher than 5, which is technically the middle, but again, my rating scale was a bit different. I believe 6 is much more of an average because most people will give middle things a 6 rather than a 5. For example, the reason I say this is because most people will give something they see as average or middle a 6 rather than a 5. They'll be more likely to give the more generous offer than saying it's a 5, as so bad as to say it's a 5. So that's why I say 6 is actually the middle of 10. And anything higher than that is really good. Anything lower than that, 5 can be seen as bad, but still good enough. And 4, obviously, but below is like bad. Bad, lower end, bad, really bad. But anyway, I've given it a 6 out of 10, meaning average, middle of the middle of the stock. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Hit the like, hit the subscribe button, hit whatever you want. Again, it's free to subscribe, free to like, and free to comment if you want to comment. Again, I'm just doing this casually, so again, I would love it if you like or subscribe, but you don't have to. You can just watch me casually as well. Anyway, peace.